Opening hook. Midnight to 0:45. Rain always sounds louder in a cemetery. Maybe it's the silence. Maybe it's the guilt. I stood 30 feet away from my own grave, watching them lower my coffin into the ground. My name was carved in stone. Daniel Harper, 1994 to 2025. And the strangest part, I wasn't dead. Part 1. How a man erases himself. 3 weeks earlier I was alive. Technically, I still am. But the version of me they buried. That man had nothing left. $86,000 in medical debt. 2 maxed-out credit cards. An eviction notice taped to my apartment door. And a phone that hadn't buzzed in days. You don't realize how invisible you are until you stop reaching out. I had spent years being the reliable one. The friend who answers at 2 a.m. The son who says, "I'm fine," even when he's not. The boyfriend who pays the bill. But when I started drowning, no one noticed. Part 2. The offer. I found the program at 3:17 a.m. Insomnia is dangerous. That's when desperate men make permanent decisions. It wasn't on Google. It wasn't advertised. It was buried in forums about debt relief and identity law loopholes. A legal identity reset. Where? Expensive. Extreme. Designed for people in catastrophic financial collapse. The government doesn't call it erasing yourself. They call it civil reconstruction. Your social security number. Terminated. Your financial records. Closed permanently. Your digital footprint. Legally deceased. You walk away with a new identity. Clean slate. Felt wrong. Felt insane. Felt peaceful. Part 3. Staging the death. There are procedures. Paperwork. Psychological evaluations. A waiting period. And one final question. Are you sure you want to sever all personal ties? That question sat in my chest for days. All personal ties. Would anyone even try to stop me? I didn't leave a note. I didn't send a message. I simply disappeared. The official story was a boating accident. Body unrecovered. Closed casket. Efficient. Quiet. Part 4. My funeral. Which brings us back to the rain. Umbrellas. Black suits. Whispered condolences. I watched my best friend Marcus wipe his eyes. He was always there for me, he said. I just wish I had been there more for him. Funny how clarity arrives late. My ex-girlfriend stood in the back. She stared at the coffin like she expected it to answer her. I thought he was stronger than this, she whispered. Stronger. That word almost made me laugh. People mistake silence for strength. Part 5. My mother. Then my mother stepped forward. Her hands were shaking. When Daniel was little, she said. He used to hate being alone. The rain grew heavier. I kept telling him to visit more. But I thought he was busy. I didn't know he felt forgotten. Forgotten. The word hit harder than debt ever did. I wanted to run to her. I wanted to say, I'm right here. But legally, I wasn't at Part 6. The truth I didn't expect. Here's what no one tells you about disappearing. You think you're escaping pain. You're not. You're just relocating it. I expected indifference. I expected a small crowd. I expected confirmation that I didn't matter. Instead, over 60 people stood in the rain. Old coworkers, neighbors, friends I hadn't spoken to in months. Not because they didn't care, but because none of us ever say what we're carrying. Part 7. The real reason. You think I erased myself because of money. That's what I told the evaluators. That's what I told myself. But the truth. I wanted to know if my absence would echo. If I would leave a dent. If I would be missed. That's a dangerous reason to fake your death. Because when you see the answer, you can't unsee it. Part 8. The decision. That night, I stood in front of my own gravestone. My new passport sat in my jacket pocket. New name. New state. New life waiting. All I had to do was get on a bus at 6:40 a.m. No past. No debt. No history. But also, no mother. No Marcus. No chance to fix what I misunderstood. For the first time in years my phone buzzed. Not the old one. The new one. A reminder. Identity activation final. 24 hours. Once activated, Daniel Harper would legally never exist again. I looked at my name carved in stone, and I realized something terrifying. The man in that grave wasn't broke. He wasn't weak. He was isolated because he never told the truth about his pain. I didn't need a new identity. I needed courage. Part 9. Coming back from the dead. The next morning, instead of boarding the bus, I walked into my mother's house. She opened the door. Her face drained of color. For 3 seconds, neither of us breathed. Then she touched my face. Daniel. There are moments in life that don't feel real. This was one. I told her everything. The debt. The shame. The fear of being a burden. She cried. But not because I disappeared. Because I never told her I was struggling. Part 10. The aftermath. Reversing a legal death is complicated. Embarrassing. Messy. But possible within 48 hours of activation. Paid penalties. Sign more papers. Daniel Harper was legally alive again. Still in debt. Still imperfect. But no longer invisible. Marcus punched me when he saw me. Then he hugged me. My ex didn't come back. Some damage stays done. But something changed. I started answering honestly when people asked, "How are you?" And you'd be surprised how many people say, "Me too." Ending message. Here's what I learned watching my own funeral. Most people aren't ignoring you. They're fighting battles you can't see. And sometimes the only thing separating you from being remembered is speaking up before you disappear. I thought I needed a new life. Turns out, I just needed to stop dying quietly.